notification. Mhm. Good. How are you? Yeah. Yeah. You're living it up on vacation. Yeah, that's not fun. I've got all the sun. I was laying out on the deck today. I know this never happens. It's like backwards. Mhm. Yeah. I kind of I'm torn on it. I like that they are, um, but I also kind of want to see them flush out other movie factions, so to speak, a little bit more. So I'm kind of torn in the sense of, are they focusing too much into one area? Is this a sign? Do I need to be paying attention to this? You know? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't look at it that way. I was just looking at it as more Toy Story, you know? Which was smart. Mhm. Yeah, I actually was looking at my downtown villains today, and I because of the money heist event, whatever. Um, and I was just like, well, I don't know. And for me, I'm like, I don't even know who to build up because they just don't look appetizing. I say appetizing, appealing. So mhm.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
We got them.
How's it going? It's going pretty good. The my office manager, I had her set up the whole system. We have a conference room. I do these conferences with like attorneys. We have a document cam and everything. So she took everything, put it in a random room, and left the heat on. And now I'm on the floor because she gave me this little flimsy table.
Oh, well, we're glad you're here now.
Yeah. So thank you.
We were just discussing the Toy Story event and what your thoughts were.
Oh well, which one? The most recent one?
The most recent one with Chunk and who else is in there? Bad Baby, Big Baby.
Lotso.
Hmm.
So, well, I mean, I haven't really done anything with the characters. The event itself was more of I just put Mickey in there with whoever was at level 1 and however many stars, and then I
Mhm.
just tornadoed everybody away. So I guess I could have done something way more fun. In terms of relative to the farming compared to other events, I would say, I don't know, it was less exciting. I don't know.
It kind of felt like they just dropped it.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if you don't have any that are kind of just run of the mill, then the exciting ones don't stand out. So maybe you got to have those. Oh.
Yeah. I want to see what I got because now
Is that
I'm
right?
curious. I got
Do you even get to do the baby?
13 of Lotso. I don't know how I did that because I didn't get chunk unlocked until like 3 or 4 days into the event.
Yeah, I mean, there was something you could do right away, but then it took like 4 days for me to even get access to where you were starting to get shards, but I forget what order everybody was in.
Yeah, it was very like, it felt like this one was harder to access.
Yeah.
But I'm not dying for big baby, so.
I like that they were more geared towards Club Conquest, kind of the way Simba is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It was a hard. I am excited that Mulan is coming instead of Robin Hood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't read that.
Yeah. I'm also curious, did they say how often they're going to switch it? I don't think they did. I'm curious if this is going to be a new switch every X amount of time or whenever they feel like it or.
But there was a day where Cubs fan goes, "Hey everybody, there's a Swugga clone," and I go, "Oh great! If I can get in on the ground floor, this is going to be awesome."
Mm-hmm.
That was the day that I downloaded the game and started playing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played the PvP arena. I always open my chest every day, but I've had 7-star Robin Hood for what feels like 3 or 4 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, I think I got a Club Conquest chest that gave me like 80 Robin Hoods though. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I suspect that might have happened because I seem to have him higher than everyone else very fast. But that was like the first Club Conquest that worked. So my impression was that if you do it every day, they're mathematically tracking, and then once everyone will get 7, if you did it every day, then they'll switch it. But now that you say it that way, maybe they do switch it before you hit the 7th. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he just needs to throw out the crit, and then I'm done with him. I don't need him anymore. So I don't even think I've put in all the ability mats for him, but I've been using them for a while.
End of March. So you were what, first week of April?
Well, if it's one a day, and it's still 330, right? Total.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just shy of a year.
Yeah.
You do nothing else.
And if you get nothing else, if you get it like not in your Club Conquest rewards or anything like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where your ranking is. Right. It's just the daily
Right. Okay. I didn't.
one. Mm-hmm.
Is that once a week, or is it every other week that they do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to interrupt you, Sergi. Apparently, we cannot hear you on YouTube. We can hear me and Lombardo.
This whole time?
Apparently, I'm assuming somebody comment in the YouTube because I'm looking at it now. Can you guys hear me and Lombardo on YouTube, in YouTube, whatever?
Oh man, how long were you going before I got in?
Not that long.
Okay.
We literally had just started. We were going for what, maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
Well, now that since he's not in there, we can get our digs in now before he comes back.
I don't know why. I mean, we can hear you. Obviously, we're having a whole conversation. Come on. Okay, everyone except Sergi. Apparently, I'm sorry. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
That was the worst thing in the world. I'll just edit this out. Yeah, the recording has your audio. We're just gonna. This is where we need a little sponsorship segment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For probably G Fuel. That's
Yeah.
a big internet one, right?
I will give Sergi the benefit of the doubt here. He's technically on vacation and doing this while he's chilling, so he's not in his usual setup.
Vacation out of town?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go?
He's far away.
Oh, so you're in Florida.
Sergi's in Florida. He's on vacation. He's not in his usual. He's in the rain.
Well, we can tell where he is. See, look at the background. It's obvious.
I know.
The Magic Kingdom right there. Or no, I bet you Sully's in Tomorrowland or something. Right? We haven't discovered that whole organization yet, our technology. But we've been aware of mermaids for a long time, so she's in Magic Kingdom. That makes sense.
Mermaids are totally real.
I'm also, since there's new characters coming around, adding Ian and Barley in is helpful.
Yeah, we've got
so
that.
those characters with just a single node, or they have one that's for 12 and one that's for 20. I've been making sure to hit those every day without spending anything extra. So now that Incredibles came back around, I already had Elastigirl at like 85 out of 100. So I was ready when that happened. So
that's what I was doing with the Frozen characters. I was hitting both their nodes wherever they were, whenever they were doubled up.
Well, if I recall correctly, you were on track for doing something, and then you completely veered to the left.
Oh, hard turn to the left. Yeah, we're not supposed to do that, but it worked out for me in the end. I will say this, because I cut it down to the wire. I got her 2 hours before that event ended. If I had not gotten her, I would have been so mad at myself for veering to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you didn't even make it, yeah.
Yeah, if I had come like that close and then not make it, I would have just kicked myself, so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do, right?
I did, so since I kept going with them, and then I saw that the one was going to be mythical, you needed mythical for Tower 5, I kept going on Olaf and the purple energy, and he was great in the tower. So I had...
Ooh, that's good to know.
What's his name? Jack. So he's got the potential double charm, and then Olaf does a charm, and that's how I beat Tower 5.
That's smart.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
People, I can hear you.
We've heard you the whole time.
Not us, sorry.
Can the people online hear me?
I'm watching the comments, so we will know hopefully shortly.
Can people on... Okay, I think I got it working where they ought to be able to.
I guess I could unmute the YouTube.
Oh, you muted him the whole time? It was on you?
No,
I mute the YouTube stream in the background so I don't hear it in my ears because there's nothing worse than I'm hearing yes from Disney Arena Pro.
Great, thank you guys.
By hearing, I mean reading. Thank you guys. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Disney Arena Pro. Thanks, Yonks. Okay.
Do you want to repeat everything you said about Toy Story?
This is SNN, Sorcerer's News Networks. Lots of people here.
Yeah.
Going through news and stuff.
We've got our guest Lombardo, in case anyone missed that.
Oh. Okay.
So,
got Toy Story 3, Bad Guys, Mulan. We talked about her being the PvP reward, 1 token each day. So I think we're all happy with that change, but not with the fact that it's 1 token.
No, but I will say I've been wanting Mulan, so I'm happy it's her.
I know. I am too.
I'm happy it's her.
I got to get my princess.
Are you happy because she's specifically the character Mulan, or because you wanted more Kingdom characters?
Because it's specifically the character Mulan. I just wanted her in general. Wow. Although, when you put it that way, it's not going to hurt my Kingdom team.
Yeah, I like when there's variety where you can swap somebody in. So, because I was using, what's her name, Jasmine, even before the buff. So you've got Sean, Mickey, Jasmine, Aladdin, and then the 5th one, or no, Jasmine I would rotate out for maybe Robin Hood or maybe Dr. Facilier, depending on who my opponents are.
I love Dr. Facilier.
I probably should use him more than I do.
There's a lot of synergies with the spells, and sometimes I'll go into the arena and there's somebody in there they're making 4 or 5 Facilier clones, and it's super annoying.
Oh,
there's all sorts of
I didn't think of that.
Yes, I have been doing that for a while, although I've switched now to just a Kingdom team. But yeah, I love the clone stuff. Peter Pan, Shadow.
I love that. Just great.
Peter Pan's Shadow, and then I don't have Golden Hammer yet, but I've seen people use Golden Hammer as well. So then you've got clones, constant reviving as they try to kill the clones. And if they kill the person that was just revived, everybody else gets healed a bunch. Because each clone unique, or the passive still counts. So even though they can only do the basic, because it's just a clone, their passive of the healing still counts. So then you've got 2 or 3 Dr. Faciliers, each healing for the full amount to every ally. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's good to know when I use him to use that spell.
Yeah, I've stopped using him on offense lately, but I keep him in defense with Jasmine, and then I've actually taken out Mickey sometimes because he's squishy. So I'll have Jasmine and Dr. F, and then Aladdin, Shannon, and Zerg, and then the Golden Hammer, and that seems to get more holds relative to the other squads that I had in there, relative to a more offensive one.
Right. Oh. So now that people can hear me and we're back up and running, the Toy Story 3 event was cool that they're expanding the game, fleshing out more downtown villains. Because before, the current money bin heist. I worked real hard knowing that existed to try and get ahead in the gold crunch game by building up these characters. But I had to spend arena tokens on Jangles that I did not want to have to do. And then I had to spend a bunch on Demona, who got taken out of the club currency. So for newer players, yes.
That's not fun.
When they did the Frozen stuff,
that is not
Kristoff took her place. So for newer people, it's much harder to get your 5 downtown villains starred up. But thankfully, Chunk is not too hard to acquire since he's got multiple nodes that you can get him from. So I think he is definitely one of the top downtown villains to go after now. And I played versus one of these teams in PvP, and it wiped the floor with me, my Kingdom squad. And Chunk was hitting hard, as well as very hard to get through to kill.
What was the full squad?
So the full squad, I want to say, was a Dr. Facilier, Zerg, Chunk, Lotso. That's 4. And then I think the 5th was Big Bad Wolf, but it might have been Jangles. So it might have been switching the taunts between Jangles and Chunk. And, Jangles is a bit underrated, I think, because once he can do his Ring the Bell special, the birthday party, where he can send out 2 turn blinds or 2 turns of slow, that really hurts the enemy team. Or if you're fighting this like I was, it really messes up all your plans. Because I swear that blind is like a 80% blind rate.
Does that hit all 3 of them or just
adjacent? So target plus adjacent.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good move.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. You know the names of them. I just call them balloons and.
I have it up right now. That's the only reason.
Oh, okay.
So you're looking at it, yeah.
I would not remember that Jangles the Clown has a birthday bash basic, a Ring the Bell special taunt, and a birthday party balloons.
No.
What even is Jangles from?
He's from Toy Story 4, or is he 3 as well?
I
don't remember him, and I haven't seen 4.
I took my son to 4 in the theater, so it wasn't that long ago. And I don't remember him from 4. So I don't think 4.
I think 3. I think I was wrong. Because I saw 4 recently on Disney Plus. He's got to be 3.
Let's see. What Toy Story?
Or just where's Bo Jangles? Not Bo.
Oh, I stand corrected. He's not from Toy Story at all. He's from Inside Out.
Oh, he totally is from Inside Out.
So he's in Emotion.
Oh, no.
Was he part of a dream? A figment of Riley's?
He, I believe, is in, if I am remembering correctly, he is in the like imagination part of Inside Out, like of the brain. If I'm remembering correctly.
I think you're right. It says in the fandom wiki, a twisted figment of Riley's encounter with clowns.
Yeah, he's a fear. He's one of her like biggest fears. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I need to go back and rewatch that movie.
That is a great movie. We should get some more Inside Out characters.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people see a character, and then go, oh, yeah, I got to go watch that movie. And so it's like all this Disney content is marketing for itself.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Versa.
For sure. Because I got to tell you, I did not care for Princess and the Frog too much. Or at least the bad guy, Dr. Facilier. It was a muddled storyline and whatnot. But because he's so fun to play with in this game, he's one of my favorite characters. So now I want to go back and watch Princess and the Frog just to cherish the Dr. Facilier scenes.
Yep. It's very smart too because their library is so massive.
Yeah, because I got that. I think I somehow got this bump up on Robin Hood. So then that made me remember watching that when I was a kid. So now I go, oh, okay, I got to go get that to show my 5-year-old.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I would watch it.
That actually is a really good point. Now that you bring that up, Lombardo, and this is completely like out of left field, but you mentioned your 5-year-old. This is also one of the games that I've noticed that has such a wide age range of players, like massive age range, which is also smart. But anyway, I feel like I'm getting off track here.
So, do we want to go over the kits for Chunk, Big Baby, and Lotso, or is that too in depth, too much?
Let's do it because I don't know what they do.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay.
Shocking.
I can read through. I can read through Chunk.
All right.
And then you guys can react. The Chunk's basic is Boulder Bash. Deal damage if this character is affected by haste. 50% chance to inflict offense down for 1 turn. If this character is affected by defense up, 50% chance to convert 1 random helpful effect to a harmful effect.
Oh. So it's based off what his helpful effects are.
Yes. And as you'll see, as we read through the kit, it's because he changes from happy face to angry face. So they kind of made it so that he changes back and forth.
I like that.
So his first special, Ground Pound, deal up to 191 damage to target opponent and adjacent opponents. Extend duration of 1 random harmful effect by 1 on each affected opponent. And then if you upgrade it, at level 2, it's extend duration of 2 random harmful effects. And there's no qualifier here of does not count stun, does not count sleep or slow or any of the bigger ones. So if you can get a stun out there, you can extend it.
So you could have a 2-turn stun.
Yes. And the cooldown is only 2 turns. So every other turn you can use Ground Pound. So depending on how much you're able to slow the enemy team, you could just keep somebody permanently stunned or slowed.
Oh, that's pretty good chaining.
Yeah. He's a good one. Because that's an adjacent attack that extends all the 1 or 2 harmful effects. Every 2
So even
turns.
just going off of Jangles.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? That's exactly lines up.
There you go. Extend the blind. If you get lucky and Jangles does a 2-turn blind to adjacents, then follow up with this. turn it into a 4-turn blind. Okay, so those are his attacks. Just a basic and a special every other turn. And his special is pretty good in damage, a little under 200% of his offense. Then his passive, his first one, is friendly to fierce. On start of turn, 30% chance to remove one random harmful effect from this character. And if you upgrade it all the way, it's a guaranteed remove a harmful effect. So just for starting his turn, he gets rid of one harmful effect. So
now, if let's say that's a stun, right, or it's some sort of
slow or
some sort of crowd control that will affect him on the turn.
Yes.
If does it remove? So let's just call it stun. If he's stunned, does it remove it before the stun skips the turn?
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe the stun is first, so he'll lose his turn still.
All right. So it's not really gonna, unless it's some sort of double stun, which I don't think that exists. That would be crazy. But yeah. So it's something like charm, good.
Yes.
Stuns or something. It's not gonna be as useful.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Good point. But this is very good to have on a tank. Because tanks, when they taunt, are the main target of all these debuffs.
Yep.
So that's very good. Then there's more. On start of turn, if this character is not affected by haste or taunt, perform the following. Gain taunt for 1 turn, inflict fear for 1 turn on a random opponent. So this isn't an attack. This just happens as part of his passive. Gain taunt, inflict fear for 1 turn on a random opponent. On start of turn, if this character has haste, perform the following. Interrupt haste and gain defense up for 1 turn. Gain taunt for 1 turn. Inflict fear for 1 turn on 1 random opponent. On start of turn, if this character has taunt, perform the following. Interrupt taunt and gain haste for 1 turn.
Oh.
So all of that is a long-winded,
like ring around.
Yeah, detailed way to say that he's going to taunt, and then he taunts for 1 turn. It gets turned into a haste. So I think the taunt is the friendly face. Then he turns into the haste fierce face for 1 turn. And then each turn he swaps back and forth to fierce, taunt, friendly, haste. Or the other way around. Whichever one is which. But 1 turn
he flips.
Yeah. So every single turn he's going to either taunt or haste.
And then he's going to fear.
Yes.
Regardless. Yeah. As long as he flips, right?
Yeah, the fear is every time he taunts. So, okay, yeah. The fear should be from the fierce. So the taunting is the fierce face. Then he flips to the friendly haste face. And then the taunting fierce face again.
Man.
So it's going to be hard to get around his taunt. Because when he does taunt, it turns into a haste in which he will quickly get to his turn again and taunt immediately.
Yeah. And then inflict fear.
Yeah. And all of this is just a passive. So he doesn't have to waste any moves trying to get his taunt up. It just happens.
I'm jumping ahead here.
Go ahead.
But I recognize that these tunes were specifically more Club Conquest focused, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So this edition, which I bet we'll talk about later, of the playing against your own teammate,
yes,
where you can actually practice, kind of like practicing putting, is Guard going to actually get on Han and Luke as opposed to somebody else stealing it? I want to make sure that that's happening, even if I think I did the math right. Here, if you've got somebody like Facilier who could drop a taunt on someone, so he could be messing with Chunk's thing, you could kind of like watch what the AI is going to do when you're playing out on defense to set up kind of an ideal 5-man defense squad that's really brutal. having this pseudo sandbox mode would be useful.
Yes, 100%.
That makes sense. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100%.
Totally.
The sandbox they announced is going to be very helpful predicting the AI without any penalty. Yeah.
Which is also an incentive for your, well, again, I'm jumping ahead, but for your guild to, okay, hey, you go get these, work on this squad, you go work on this squad, so that way we're able to play against this one versus this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. Have a well-rounded guild of different teams just to know how to go against each other.
Yeah, like, so Sarah, you love Frozen. I didn't do Frozen. So you do the Frozen.
Yep.
I'll do this other one.
Now the other passive he has is Gravel Guard. 1 turn cooldown. When an ability inflicts fear on an opponent, this character gains shield equal to 2% of their own max health per each opponent inflicted with fear by the ability. Amount is increased by 2% of this character's max health per Toy Story villain teammate. So, if you have him plus the 3 other Toy Story villains, then each time he does fear, he will gain 10% shield. Plus 5% during Club Conquest.
Every
fear.
Toy Story villain is a downtown villain.
Yes.
But not every downtown villain, obviously, is a Toy Story.
Exactly.
All 4, okay.
Yes. Toy Story villains are squares. Downtown villains are rectangles. Because every square is a rectangle and not a... Yeah.
Oh. I'm like, is there some sort of system for sorting? I don't know about?
No.
The chunk kind of looks like either a square or a rectangle. I'm not sure.
Yes, exactly. So Chunk is pretty good. Chunk himself will do fear every other turn.
Mm-hmm.
The Chunk himself, with his passive, is giving himself 10% shield every other turn. And then his basic... Nuts. Oh no, his basic doesn't. Does one of these inflict fear? No, neither his...
No. I think it's just his other passive.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Fear seems to be more of a mythical ability or debuff from what I've seen so far.
Who uses it among mythical characters? I don't know the rosters well enough.
Well, the 3 Jack Skellington, Nightmare Before, the 3 Nightmare people.
Gotcha.
Sully it has it, but he's not mythical. Well, who's the other mythical? Is it the Horn King? Does Horn King have it?
Does he have it?
He might. That sounds right.
But I know all 3 Nightmare people have it. Headless Horseman spell has it. I don't know if our spells. That would be cool if the spells have classification. They do.
They did not at first, but then they added that.
Now they do.
Which is great.
Let's find out. Oh, boom. Headless Horseman spell.
Okay, then Big Baby was also added, as well as Lotso.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lotso was the first character you had to try and get was Chunk. And Chunk gave you Big Baby shards, right?
Yes.
And you needed 50 baby shards.
50 baby shards to get him unlocked.
Because I remember how frustrated I was. And then when I finally got it, then it was only 30 for the next tier.
Right.
Yeah. And if you want to get freaked out, go to Big Baby's character and watch him swing his head around 180 degrees.
Ugh.
I was like, why?
I did see that.
I was like, why are they showing us his backside and then his head spins?
You got that?
Yeah.
When you first saw it? When I first saw it, I thought the game froze.
Oh.
And it was I thought it was supposed to turn around, and so I go to force close it, and then the head got me. I was like, whoa.
Nice.
No, that's yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's accurate. It's an accurate portrayal.
Yeah. Go check it out, Sarah, so it can give you nightmares about
Thank you.
the lazy-eyed baby.
I appreciate it. Just what I need.
And I was kind of leaning in at you.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And isn't he a giant, like a half of a kid size doll in the movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
These are all Toy Story 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not see. I don't think I've ever seen 3. I saw 4.
Oh, 3 is
good.
It's gut wrenching. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
Well, my reception staff are watching the show apparently, and I understand that Kellen is a big fan of Toy Story 3, and Kellen is playing the game. Declan and Fiona are not playing the game, so they're really missing out.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kellen is what we said, and his love of Big Baby.
The Big Baby's basic is play rough, and it just deals damage.
Yeah.
And then it can deal bonus damage per feared opponent.
Oh, there you go, fear.
So you'll want him with your fear inflictors.
Yep. Then he has a special timeout. Deal up to 88 damage to target opponent and decrease the speed meter of target opponent by 30%.
Ooh, I like that.
If target is affected by fear, inflict stun for 1 turn.
Oh, I like that even more.
And this is only a 2-turn cooldown.
That's a good one.
So every other turn, he can guaranteed decrease speed meter of an opponent by 30% and stun them if they have fear.
Randall is another one with fear.
Gotcha.
And Randall is downtown villain. Randall is downtown villain.
Yeah.
So there you go. So
then the second special is Tantrum. Deal up to 69 damage to target opponent and adjacent opponents. 4-turn cooldown. Damage is increased by 10% per opponent affected by fear. Ignore 20% of target's defense if they are affected by taunt.
If the target has taunt.
Yes.
Huh.
And then
is there a force taunt in this?
not on Big Baby.
Say it again.
A force taunt where?
Like JKR. I can put taunt on you.
I don't think so.
So I also played the Lego game, and I started both at the same time, and I know that one has this force taunt. So I feel like this could happen.
I feel like it would come.
And if somebody's going to have a force taunt, it's going to be the downtown villains.
Yeah. It'll come eventually, probably. I don't think it's here yet. Then he has a passive, Mama. On receiving damage, 30% chance to perform the following. Restore up to 72 health and gain offense up for 1 turn. If Lotso's a teammate, increase his speed meter by 30%.
Oh.
Chance to activate is increased by 5% per Toy Story villain teammate. In Club Conquest, duration of helpful effects gained are increased by 1. And this has a 1-turn cooldown, which for passives means it'll always have an opportunity to trigger.
It's always going to, every turn he takes, it's going to trigger.
Yeah.
To clarify, that's increased Lotso's speed meter.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Baby's basically just a damage dealer.
Yeah, the basic bores me.
Yes, it
obviously.
does.
Yeah. It's simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I want to see what Lotso does.
Yes.
I feel like Baby is somebody who could probably get swapped out a lot.
Yes.
I don't know if I would take him out.
I mean, it's more like I've got these two options. Who am I going to kick?
Right.
Thus far, out of the two we talked about, and then Zerg as the other one,
Mhm.
I'm not kicking either of those.
Right. Well, now fear is going to be a big part of the team.
Yeah.
Then the stun is going to be huge.
And if you have Lotso, you're going to want Big Baby.
Right. Right. Because of the turn meter game.
Mm-hmm.
But, pair Big Baby with Chunk. Big Baby stuns. Chunk extends the stun.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
And then the best character out of all three of these, I think, is Lotso. Especially
Makes
with
sense.
his leadership. Let's start with his leadership. Toy Story villains gain 20% maximum health in Club Conquest. So similar to Simba's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you upgrade it, Toy Story villains gain offense up for 1 turn and life drain for 1 turn at the start of battle in Club Conquest. That means Zerg and Chunk and Big Baby are all having offense up and life drain. So even if they go slower than a Kingdom team or a Frozen team, they'll be able to heal themselves with their first big AoE moves.
Don't like that.
Did you get Lotso?
I did not.
I didn't get him either.
And I was frustrated because you need 80 to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times is this event going to have to come back before you can slow farm 80 tokens of him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm at 43.
Nice.
Holy.
Oh, that was a good number.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have 13.
Oh, okay.
I have 11.
Yeah.
So I did do the 150 refresh a couple times.
Okay. How many Big Baby do you got?
8, but I've got 4 stars.
Oh, you have them. You have Big Baby unlocked.
Yeah. So they dropped Chunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there were 2 days in a row where I did every 50 crystal refresh attempt.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no gear farming, there was no farming other tunes. It was just each of those nodes. And you can do like 4. I want to say it's 4 before it pops into 100.
With a VIP.
I did.
Yeah.
So it was the 2 you get from being a node, then the 1 from your guild letting you do another, and then another 8. And I did that for like 2 days to try to get the Big Baby so I could start working fast.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. So you did for Big Baby what I did for Elsa.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I did something similar with the Frozen characters when it was just Sven and Kristoff, like when it was like this mystery, what's going to happen, and was it like 3 days before it happened?
I think something like that.
Yeah. So it was the same thing where I figured I'm going to need this, so I refocused on those. But my goal wasn't necessarily, I want to get Elsa. It was just, I don't want to waste all these days of free attempts on this. Yep. A book? Is it called a book on this book?
Yes, book.
Yeah, the books.
Yeah. So I don't like it when you waste it because you weren't able to access it, or when it runs out of coins or whatever. It very much frustrates me.
So, thank you, William Yielding, in the chat. He pointed out that Lotso has the force taunt like Jedi Knight Revan does.
Oh,
we were talking about. Yeah.
So, let's see it.
Yeah. So Lotso's basic is Cane Slam, and it just deals damage with a 50% chance to inflict fear once you upgrade. Then his first special, Lock 'em Up. 4-turn cooldown, inflict fear for 1 turn and defense down for 1 turn on the target opponent and adjacent opponents. Allied Big Baby will assist. 1 to 2 additional teammates will assist.
So you're getting 2 to 3 people assisting off of that.
Yes. And including Big Baby, who's a damage dealer for the team.
Man.
And the lock 'em up move puts fear on target and adjacent. So at least three or four people.
Right. Oh.
Pete has a similar where he grabs a bunch of teammates.
Yeah, yes it does.
And it's either him or Wolf that have the highest basic ability. It's one of those two have the highest base damage. You could do something with that.
Yeah.
I do like that there's a lot of different permutations that you could come up with.
Yes. I like how they've kind of isolated the factions where, no character is from more than one movie group, and then they don't contain more than one type group, whether it's mythical, downtown, or kingdom, whatnot. So I like that you can stick Toy Story together to have synergy. You can also stick downtown villains together to have synergy.
Well, and they have synergy. It's not just, they have this tag.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So it's they're both synergistic as well as able to synergize.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like a tag, like you're saying, where you just assume that they will because they have the same tag. Yeah.
But
like in Swugga, there's some tags where I go, yeah, but I'm never going to use that tag. I'm always using this tag.
Right.
Yeah. Smuggler.
Yeah, it's true.
Although every smuggler is a scoundrel, right?
Yeah.
Or most all of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's just for an event. Isn't that
for the ship event probably? Or
the cargo ships?
Or I don't remember.
I don't remember.
And then Lotso has another special, Play Date with Destiny, and it is a 6-turn cooldown. Restore health to the 2 lowest health teammates. If affected teammates have full health, instead apply continuous healing, restoring 90 health over 2 turns. It's small number because mine is not unlocked yet. And then inflict taunt for 1 turn on the 2 lowest health opponents.
Ooh.
I love that.
So this move, yes, is giving you 2 low health opponent options.
Knock them out.
Yeah. So for players that have been strategizing with their Simba, and, entire strategy revolves around not letting the enemies attack anybody besides Simba, or any other big tank like Kristoff now, with the very hard to get around him in the Frozen teams. Right here, you now have 2 weak enemies that they can't help but get taunt. That's pretty good.
Right.
I like that.
As long as it's not a pre-taunt, you can get in some damage ahead of time.
Yep.
So like Kingdom against Frozen, I can usually get in a few attacks on someone. Right. I can usually kill off whatever Dash or Zerg, or maybe I'll even go for Anna. But once Kristoff goes, and then they golden hammer one of them back. I get stuck. That's why I got excited about Barley, because without the parrot taking away the taunt, you don't have a lot of ways around it, and Barley does that. This one.
Yep.
Is there another one? Can you think of another one that gets around taunt?
The
Ariel removes it.
Oh, the Purge. Yeah.
Yep, Ariel does. And then I unlocked the Mortal Potion from Hades, his spell type deal. And that one will purge 2 helpful effects off the target.
Okay.
So that lets you get rid of taunt still. Then Lotso
Alright.
has another passive.
Mhm.
When this character, the I'm a hugger passive.
I could hear his voice.
Can you imitate it for us?
I could hear him say, I can't imitate it. I will not do it justice.
When this character is dealt damage, increase speed meter of each allied Toy Story villain by 10%, and an additional 10%, and an additional 5% per opponent inflicted with fear.
Ooh.
So, when this character takes
He's dealt.
damage, so if somebody does an AoE
Mm-hmm.
versus this Toy Story villain team, and let's say Lotso's already gotten to do his 3 fears from his special, and Chunk has gotten to do his random opponent fear, then now you're gaining 35% turn meter, or 30% turn meter, just for him taking damage. The entire Toy Story villain team is going to be getting 30% turn meter.
That's nuts.
On start of turn, perform the following. Gain a copy of one random helpful effect from each adjacent Toy Story villain teammate with its duration refreshed. Restore 72 health to the 2 lowest health teammates, including this character. Affected teammates have full health and still apply continuous healing. So similar to his last move, the Playdate with Destiny. Except this passive doesn't have a cooldown. So just on start of turn,
He's just doing it.
he's either going to gain a random helpful effect from adjacent allies, restore health to the 2 lowest health allies. Those 2. That's it. Just those 2.
Yeah, those 2.
And in Club Conquest, grant defense up for 1 turn to affected teammates.
Affected teammates being the teammates he healed.
He heals. Maybe the ones he steals random helpful effects from? Too? I don't know. I haven't seen it in action.
Either way, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's keeping them alive every turn.
Yeah. And Lotso's a healer for Toy Story villains. It doesn't make you have Dr. Facilier from another downtown villain squad.
Right.
And he's the leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I like it. I think they're solid. What are y'all's final thoughts?
Now I kind of want Lotso.
You want a hug? You want a hug from Lotso?
I'm a hugger. I would not want a hug from Lotso. Oh.
They're all such friendly characters.
Yeah.
Except for that creepy baby.
Yeah, I wish she was kind of more attainable.
Yeah.
Versus my 13 shards of them. Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, I thought these events were going to be more along the lines of, you know, you can get each character unlocked, like 1 or 2 stars, but you'll struggle, and you might struggle to get the 3rd one unlocked, but by the 2nd time, for sure you should. That is not the case. Each event seems to be getting harder and harder to even do the 1st book, let alone make it to the 3rd book.
I'm wondering. Sorry.
So it feels like some of them are going to come a few times, and then it's okay. Now they're on a node. Like
I was just gonna say that.
But then other ones, maybe they will come around with greater frequency, and the idea is the announcement is almost like okay, hey, if you want to do this, start farming for. It's almost like the 2nd time is like the 1st time. Right. I wonder if this one is going to be like that.
To me, I got the vibe, particularly today when they said that Ian, was it today they said Ian and Barley move into a node?
Yes.
So particularly with that, I got the vibe that some of these events are going to be sort of similar to a marquee style. except that we can play it a couple of times and then they'll move the characters to a node. And we can farm it. And if I'm assuming the event would come back because what's her face didn't go to a node, the Manticore.
Manticore?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's you get one. If you really want to go ham on it, then you can be able to start getting unlocks right off the bat. Okay, if that doesn't fly for you, you can get some amount of the way there on the second and third go around. And then after that, it's really only about unlocking the bigger character. So in this case, it would be Lotso. Maybe he'll get put on a node somewhere too.
Yeah. So would it be that it comes back a second time and we get to do it, and then after that, well, Chunk's already on a thing, but Big Baby would go to a node, and then you can just keep going back for Lotso only, I guess.
When I started, there was Onward and Aladdin kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't know how often they were there before. I feel like Aladdin must have come around a few times before because they already got put on the nodes.
Yeah.
Genie and Jasmine.
But Aladdin doesn't give very much. Like, it's a one-time and done, not a recurring.
Yeah, it's not a...
Keep getting shards from, or getting tokens.
Yeah. So I think when you can keep getting tokens is when they will
eventually
make
phase into nodes.
Yeah. Although I guess the Aladdin characters are on them too, so what's the difference?
I think originally only Aladdin was on.
Yes. Yeah, because even like the Lion King event, the characters are in the event. Like you get the shards there.
Solely, yeah. Who first? Was it Rafiki first?
Yeah, Rafiki first.
Rafiki.
And then Simba, and then you can get Scar.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them eventually putting the unlock the first two book characters onto nodes or shops to make it easier to get to the final book special character Manticore in the Onward series.
That was just the vibe that I got from it today. Okay. I don't know if that's what they're doing.
My initial reaction was, oh no, now they're not going to do the Onward 1 event anymore.
But you can't get Manticore anywhere else.
Good point. I'm glad you guys pointed that out.
So I also kind of like it if they do that, because then you can really pick and choose. You can pick and choose your lane, right? Like you can stay in your lane and you know that these shards are on these nodes and you can get it done and then choose a new lane after the fact.
Right. You don't have to wait until the event comes back.
Yeah.
You just work on the first Rafiki character.
Yeah,
and your real goal is Scar or Simba.
Exactly.
I wonder, I'd have to think, I'd have to do math or something, but it might be a little bit of a built-in catch-up mechanic for new players.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they don't only have to farm off a node; they get these special, like the ones that come around after they've come around a few times. Yeah. Now eating barley will be like an extra treat that for the rest of us, we already got those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Okay.
That's a good point too.
Okay, I'm liking this flow of events. Hopefully that's the way they're taking it. Okay, also in this client update of 12.0, they announced a sandbox mode.
Yeah.
Something Star Wars players have been asking for years.
But it's not, you can't make it. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work? I haven't tried.
It doesn't work in the coding. You can't make a sandbox mode.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, and Star Wars. Yes. Nobody would want to do it. It's not a requested feature or anything.
Well, right. The player retention or use of it will just fall off.
Right.
That's just mind-boggling to me, because for me, especially with this game in particular, and I'm sure I was the same with the Star Wars, I'm still learning what's good against what. So sandbox mode is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Especially when you want to test your roster specifically. Like it's completely, anyone could be like, oh, well, just take, Zerg in. And I'm like, well, I don't have Zerg, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? So a sandbox mode, I think that's awesome.
Yes.
It's
this is maybe off topic, but there are things that I think are lacking from theory crafting that the reason it's lacking or it seems more simplistic is that there isn't the sandbox mode to test and experiment and for people to realize it. So like when it comes to defense mods, people, okay, well, Jolie, he heals more if there's more health. So obviously you do all health. Okay, but if you had more defense mods, that's going to increase your effective HP by this massive amount, and the healing isn't really as beneficial. People would realize that if there was some way that they could test and practice. Okay, I'm going to go play 20 games with health mods, 20 games with defense sets, and then they could do a comparison. But since it's not there, there's so much that is lacking. So I think that this allows not just to experience the players and know what's good against what, but also other forms of theory crafting. You know what somebody should do? They should get a website with a defense calculator on
it. Like surgygames.com, maybe?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Surgygames.com?
I've heard about that site. Yeah.
You heard of that one?
Yeah. Thanks.
Slight sponsorship break.
We didn't even plan that.
Yeah. That was just Lombardo being a good guy. And let us know what you guys want, what kind of info you would want written. Because I'm planning to do more stuff for the site, but need ideas. But anyways, so yes, and when we say sandbox, we're referring to the ability to challenge an opponent or an ally without any consequences. Just they set a team, or you can pick from their roster, and then you set your team. And play test without any consequences or fears that you're going to miss out on something, or you don't know what team they're going to put up if it's, PvP arena. This way you get to decide what you are testing out.
So smart.
But that is cool. Then they also added the ability to change your payout time for the tournament 2 times every 365 days. Which is exactly what Star Wars does.
Yep.
Which was a huge change when Star Wars did it. That I'm sure it enables so many players to be more invested in the game because they can actually do the arena at an hour that works for them. So the fact that they're very quickly getting that into this game is a huge win.
Have you moved yours yet, Sergi?
I have not. I will soon. Probably wait till after vacation.
I'm assuming that it will do a similar thing where everything will move with it. Your store refreshing and your bonus energy and all of that will shift. That's what I'm guessing will happen.
That'll be cool.
Just a heads up for anyone who's thinking of doing it.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like they are directly taking shots at Star Wars, wanting to be better. Like
100%.
Whatever they're doing,
100%.
we can do that too. Whatever they say they can't do, we're going to do it.
I was playing my PvP battles today, and my boyfriend pointed out when I was playing it that he was looking at the ranking system and how they have weekly rewards and season rewards, and he looked at it and he went, let me see the actual ranks. So I pulled it up so he could see the silver 3, silver 2, et cetera, and he looked at me and he's like, that is a direct copy of Clash Royale. And I was like, well, I like it, so I don't care. But it works, so
yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I mean, if they just look at all the other games right? And then they go, okay, I like that, I like that, I like that.
Mhm.
So we'll do that. Oh, this part I don't like. Oh, everybody else doesn't like that. We'll make it better.
Skip
100%.
it. Skip it, make it better. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
All right. What else did they add to this update?
Those were the big. Oh, and then they also mentioned to stay tuned to new event towers coming up.
Oh yeah.
And they said it was going to be a new game mode.
What's
like
an
exciting
event
new game modes.
Okay, I do need them to start using different terms for things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's this tower, there's this tower,
Mhm.
there's this PvP, this is PvP arena, but this is your arena,
Right.
sorcerer arena.
Yeah.
Right.
Just use a different word.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So because they use the word tower,
Mhm.
the impression that I'm getting is that these are going to expand on the towers of endurance.
Yeah.
So I think that up to now, there's just been the 5 towers of endurance. Once you complete it, the challenge is over. It's done. People in beta have had it done for a while.
Mhm.
So the only thing they could do is either make a 6th or 7th tower, but that would require more power creep. Or sounds like they're going to have event towers. So instead of, only having books to get character shards with a 10 or 11 day event, now they can have a tower to reward you stuff that will only be around for 10 or 11 days.
That's kind of cool.
So what if these are the for releasing spells?
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a good idea.
To get more spells in the game.
Right.
That's
So
a
it's
good
the same
idea.
as the books, but now it's spells.
Mhm. And you could make it, if it's tower events, you could make it so that it's the same tower. Like this is, you have tower 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many they are, and then you have tower event or event tower at the end,
just to the
and
side.
then and then you have it so that it's live for the next 7 days, and it's this spell in it, and you can go as high up as you can, and you can reset it once a day. Same idea.
Yes.
And then every time you put a new event in there, you're starting at the bottom again. You have to come back and keep going.
Right.
Yes.
Know what I mean?
I do.
Yes.
I like that idea. That's a way to kind of keep the tower like it's not really stale, because you're constantly putting constantly in air quotes, putting new content into it, and making it playable for players who've already beaten all of the towers, and it's not just a dead part of the game for them anymore.
And then what do you call mythical kingdom? That's not a faction, is it?
It is a faction.
It is.
But it's different from a movie faction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever term those are, right? Right now, the towers of endurance use those. But these event towers could be,
yes.
Use your Sleeping Beauty and Jungle Book factions.
Yeah.
Right, and they can make you use specific characters.
That's
which would be
cool.
really sneaky, because then they'd be really making you, if you wanted the whatever was the reward for it, then they would really be forcing you to gear specific teams.
Yes.
Well, so if you have enough, like some of the levels are you can do mythical or downtown or wilds or whatever. Like if there's enough of them, and it's probably less of an issue. But then you bring up the not just stars but also gear that really grinds my gears.
But it would be a way for them to make you work on very specific things if they wanted to do that.
But a worthwhile
way.
They
can make it harder than to make me require a certain level of gear.
Yeah.
True. I don't like the requirements. I like it just being so hard that you are pushed to the point.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a delicate line to walk.
But now to also go with the conspiracy that these are for spells, they have not released spells since the Toy Story event, if I recall correctly. Like none of these new focuses that they've gone to. Frozen, Incredibles, the Toy Story 3 stuff, none of them had any new spells to go along with it. Ever since the Bucket of Soldiers and the Wild Imagination.
Were those new for that?
Yes. For that event.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
So maybe they pivoted and said, hey, rather than just release spells at the same time, let's eventually do spell towers that are event towers that give spells.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of assuming that there's some of these characters or spells that, okay, you can unlock it or you can get so many stars. Like I did the math on Jafar only to figure out that I literally can't get a 7th star unless I bought a pack.
Right.
So maybe since some of these spells are literally locked unless you spend, this is a way to get them releasing where, okay, at first you can only get it to 1 star unless you spend, but then once the tower comes up, you can get it that way.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that idea a lot. And it would keep with the theme of the towers rewarding spells.
It would. We'll have to see if that's what they actually do. But we've come up with a great solution.
A great solution. If they don't have a solution yet, we've just given them one.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Just say it.
That takes us to our next segment. Sarah?
Yes.
I'm afraid I've been thinking.
A dangerous pastime.
I know. Welcome to our I'm Afraid I've Been Thinking segment, where we give our thoughts on how you can improve the game from the very basics of how RPG mechanics work to the deepest theory crafting ideas. Today, with our special guest Lombardo, we're going to pick his brain on Sorcerer Stones now that they're in the game and they're starting to have events that allow us to build towards getting our first Sorcerer Stone. So Lombardo, what have you learned and what tips do you have for those that have not experienced the feature yet?
Well, I mean, what I was thinking about Sorcerer Stones was more of my opinion of it rather than something that
Go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Is informative, because I mean so I love mods. Right.
From Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I'm making a gross assumption there. And I recognize that there are people that find them annoying or whatever, but when you get into the weeds, it's really the only thing that you can do to get an edge once you have everything.
So what do mods do?
Well, they modify your character's stats, and you want me to go through?
Well, no, that's good. Point out that when we say mods, they modify stats based on whatever mod. The mod is a piece that you attach.
Yeah.
But the piece can be attached to any character you want. So in the end, it means your version of a character. So let's say you had Mickey with mods, or Sorcerer Stones, as we'll talk about. Your Mickey at the same level, at the same star rating, will actually have different stats than another person's Mickey, depending on what stone you put on them. In Star Wars, they're called mods. In this game, they're called Sorcerer Stones. Okay, continue.
Well, and to be clear, I would prefer stones the way they are to not having stones.
Okay.
The fact that it is one slot, one stat, and you only get one of them. That it's so simplistic, and also the fact that they've got speed other than maybe some tanks with health or something. Everyone's just going to do speed anyway. At least that's my right. Like, so both of these events I've been less interested in. I just care about getting whatever coins those things are, because I just want to buy the speed stuff.
Right.
What are those things called?
Whatever the tokens are.
Yeah.
Gray circle tokens with an eyeball in it.
Yeah.
Sorcerers. No, I don't know. Anyway,
Yep.
so the whereas the mod, you've got your set, then some of them change their primaries, and then you have your 4 secondaries. That's awesome. There's so much that you can mix and match. The farming of it, the fact that the stat rolls are different, I could see wanting to not include that aspect of it to simplify it. And to a point that was brought up at the beginning, if we've got people of all ages playing, that could be too complex for certain age levels. But I could see you could have, your different color stones that each have different primaries on them, and then there's 2 secondaries that, and you can just farm the individual pieces and maybe insert 1 stone into another stone or something like that. That would be better than just the stones as they are right now. There's not enough complexity, so there's not enough edge that you can get from theory crafting better than your opponents.
Right, because theoretically you could have the exact same character as your opponent with the exact same stone.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
I see what you're saying, but I want to see how it works out in the current form.
I am thinking that the complexity factor of it, and this is me thinking on my feet here, I think the complexity factor of it is going to factor into what your team makeup is going to be, and what your what each character is holding stone wise on that team. So whether it's a speed stone, or if you switch to an offense stone for someone, does it work better for you? Can you climb faster, for instance, or climb easier? And then have your defense. I guess your defense would not be different, because I'm assuming your character has to hold the same stone for defense that it would for offense.
Well, but see, you could have that. So what if let's say you could hold 6 stones, and slot 1 you can only choose from these 3 stats. You can only choose from these 3 stats, but they're different. So you can only maybe in those 4 slots you could put health, but 2 of those you could also put speed, but the other 2 you could also put recovery or whatever. And then each one has more options. It's just the single slot for 1 stat is not enough.
Well, now you might be right in the long run, but for now, I want to see how this works out, because I don't want to see too much craziness with these stones. Because mods in Star Wars, there's a huge gap between those with great mods and those with poor mods. And the entire mod feature of having to farm them and having to have mod energy and grind mods that you bump up to try and be just as good as your other mods, collecting 6 mods for 200 characters. I don't want to see that be that complex and that important in this game. So I want to see how it works with just 1. Because I'm happy with there just being the slight variation of, okay, who's the bad guy from Mulan? What's his name again? Shan Yu. This Shan Yu has crit chance as a stone. So he's going to crit more often and reduce your turn meter more. This Shan Yu has speed. So he's going to go slightly faster. That is simple enough that I can understand it. I can know why it's happening, as opposed to this Shan Yu is just slightly faster than mine, but also because he spent so much into his stones, has twice as much crit chance as my Shan Yu.
So I hear you, but you're comparing apples and oranges, because you're the con that you're presenting is a collection con, right? Whereas I'm ignoring about the how do we get them,
right?
Focusing on what do we do with them. So for example, let's say it was just sets and primaries, right? And instead of having to get a random drop that then you have to roll, and it's always different. What if you just got the coin, and then you could buy exactly the ones you want? So this.
So it didn't roll.
So rolling is not a thing.
It's gone.
Yeah. So it's, do you want more crit chance? Then buy the crit chance dust. But only these. So let's say there's an offense slot, a defense slot, and a support slot. So offense slot is crit chance, crit damage, offense. Then defense is health, protection, defense, and then your support slot is tenacity, potency, something, right? Recovery. Okay. So then you only have 3 slots, and then you pick your, I want the yellow mod for this one, and I'm gonna, of those I can choose either offense, crit damage, crit chance, and then
right, and then that. So would that be applied to the stone itself? And then if you remove the stone, would that, whatever, say you had put an offense slot and you picked crit chance on it, if you take that stone out, it does the crit chance go with it, and if you put it on someone else, it still has crit chance because that's what you've selected for it, basically.
Because that's what you bought with it.
Well, yeah, like, so that would be it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you mean.
Okay.
And then you can, so as I get, so like I said, I'm only buying the speed ones. So I think I stumbled into some other ones from getting the second tier. I put those on characters I didn't get a speed yet, but with my coin, all I'm doing is buying speed. So but it's not going to give me, oh, I farmed 10 speed mods, but this one is a 6, this is a 5, and then I got a bunch of 3s. You farmed more. The numbers ultimately are the same. There isn't that change in the stat amount. And I can see that being not dumbing down, but simplifying it for younger ages, but still having the number of combinations that allows for one to get an edge by thinking, preparing, sandboxing.
Yeah. I think you've convinced me that yes, without the randomness, so keeping stones where it's a sure plus 15% offense or plus 10, 5%, depending on the level of it. Not changing the randomness there, but just expanding the number of stones you could put on. That would be good, which they can always do in the future.
Yeah, they totally could do that. I'm wondering if that's what they're thinking, if they're going to change
ease us into it, because they're already really hard to get.
I wonder if that's the idea.
I actually assume that's what's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
that they're easing us into the stones, and then they'll tweak how they work.
Yeah, why not?
I'd be more surprised for it that not to be the outcome.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
But I don't know that'll happen. Also, I wish they'd do that to mods. I like the secondaries, but just normalize the amounts.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed. Okay, and then the other headline I forgot to mention was that they want to find out from players what direction the game should go. So they actually have a form, a survey for you to fill out. Hey summoners, we'd love to hear some feedback regarding possible direction to take with Disney Sorcerer's Arena. So I was thinking we could fill out the form here on the show.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
I just clicked past it because I was being lazy.
Me too. I was like, no, I want to play the game.
So it says it'll take approximately 7 minutes to complete. Your feedback
like
is truly appreciated. It will help the team in making future decisions.
I like it.
So, first question.
Mhm.
Already 25% done with the survey.
It's going to take 7 minutes to do 4 questions.
I hope the last one, I didn't read it in depth. I think it was just asking, like, making sure you're in landscape mode with your phone. Okay.
Oh.
In this question, you'll be presented several groups consisting of 5 Disney and Pixar characters. The character's franchise or movie will be shown in parentheses. Example, Buzz Lightyear, parentheses, Toy Story.
Okay.
Considering each group of characters, which of the following do you like the least most?
The least, okay.
Both. So I need to pick one. So we got Yokai from Big Hero 6, Baymax from Big Hero 6, Sully Monsters Inc., Ursa Little Mermaid, Goliath Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
I do want to do Gargoyles, but I also want to do Ursula.
Oh. Don't we already have Sully?
Yep.
We do have Sully. I'm going to say Sully least.
I like... we have to pick one the least and one the most.
Yeah. Although, let's see. I like Sully, but the way he is in game is crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want to say least. I'm actually going to say Yokai least.
Who is Yokai?
The main character in Big Hero 6.
Mm-hmm.
The boy?
Yeah,
Or
The boy. The boy.
The brainy boy.
Okay. Because and then you said the balloon is also, what's his name? The balloon guy?
Baymax is awesome.
And then
he's badass.
Is the enemy, have I seen the enemy as like a character that we can't unlock?
Is going to be in a future event. So he's in the game. Actually, is that Yokai?
But Yokai is the enemy.
Is Yokai the bad guy? Okay, never mind then.
Yokai is this guy.
I do want Yokai.
But is he the bad guy?
Yes, Yokai is the bad guy.
Who's got all the little robots?
Oh.
I don't know I don't remember his name. Maybe Hero?
Oh, that's the brother. I don't know. There's a guy with the little robots and they kind of are waves.
I don't know.
It's very frustrating, the comment section. They're all yelling, dude, it's this guy. You know?
Yeah. That's I'm thrown because Sully is in there, and I like for a survey to take to ask where you want the game to go. Why would you include a character that's already in the game?
I think it's saying just characters you like in general. So I'm gonna say Ursula I like most.
Yeah, well, I do like Ursula.
Sully I like least.
All right, list them one more time.
Okay, Yokai, Baymax, the balloon, Sully, the blue Barney, and then Ursula, Octa Lady, and Goliath, the main gargoyle. I wish I could do 2 because I want Goliath, but I think I want Ursula more. But this is I'm gonna make the executive decision since I'm mainly filling out for myself. But you two should also fill it out.
I will fill it out.
Okay, next set. We got Brooklyn from Gargoyles.
What'd you pick?
I picked Ursula most, Sully least.
All right.
That's fine.
That's doable.
Okay.
That's acceptable.
I'll let it go.
Now we got Brooklyn from Gargoyles. Don't know Brooklyn. Haven't seen the show very much. Claude Frollo, the Hunchback. I do like him. Milo Thatch from Atlantis. Duke of Wesselton, Frozen. And King Triton, the Little Mermaid.
Oh, you gotta get King Triton.
Yeah.
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 You need Zeus. You need all those characters.
I like the Duke the least because he's the worst.
Yeah. We do not need the Duke added to the game.
We don't want the Duke in here. Duke of Wellington, Duke of Smellington.
Yeah, okay. It's asking the characters, not the franchise. Because I want Hunchback and Esmeralda. So I want to say Frollo. But
it's asking the characters.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Triton. Triton's best out of this.
And Frollo's the
bad guy.
Not Hunchback guy, right?
Right.
The one who's like into Esmeralda?
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to have him in the game because
I do too.
So terrible. You know?
I want him too. But I you know what? I'm going Frollo.
That's worse.
YOLO. Frollo. Okay, next group is Anna, Brooklyn, Shmi from Peter Pan, Rapunzel from Tangled, and Big Baby, Toy Story 3.
He is the best.
So Big Baby is who I like least.
Me is Bob Hoskins.
I like Shmi.
He's entertaining.
Shmi.
Yeah. Also, we need more oceanic tunes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Stone event that is going to come next.
So I'm torn between Shmi and Rapunzel. I obviously want Rapunzel, but I feel like everybody's going to answer Rapunzel, which means Shmi is going to... It'll skew the data where they don't think people care about Shmi. But I care about Shmi. I'm going to say Mr. Shmi.
They should let you rank order. They should let you just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They should.
Yeah, they should let you rank them.
And also the way that they're presenting it, you know, there's going to be people who are choosing franchise. There's going to be people who are choosing like the tune, or they don't like the tune, or they want it in the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is not a well-designed.
For sure. Okay. Shmi or Rapunzel?
I vote Shmi.
Let's do Shmi. Okay, now we got Ian Lightfoot from Onward. Love it. I cried in that movie.
That was such a good movie.
Yokai, Big Hero 6. Big Baby, Toy Story 3. Prince Eric, The Little Mermaid. And Claude Frollo, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Big Baby is least. Don't know why we have Big Baby in the game. And
it's weird they're including characters that are already here. This is a rough list.
Yeah.
It is very weird.
Maybe it helps them know about the decisions they've already made. Like, should we have wasted time focusing on Big Baby?
No.
You guys know Lindsay Ellis? She's got like one of those video essay channels. She did a whole like Disney history type thing, and her episode on the Hunchback was very interesting. The story that the it's based on, and the dark themes of that particular Disney film relative to what you usually get is pretty interesting. So that makes me skewing towards Frollo just because the psychopathology of the character.
Yeah. Let's go Frollo. I like Prince Eric. I don't think he's one I care most about. I want to do Yokai or Frollo. Because Yokai is an actual cool bad guy.
Yeah, agreed.
But let's go Frollo. I feel like it's a guarantee they're going to put Yokai in sometime. So he doesn't need any more support.
True. You know, if they want to keep getting Little Mermaid characters, I'm voting the priest.
Priest?
The priest, yeah. You know the priest?
I was expecting you to say like Flounder or
I don't
Sebastian.
Remember. At the wedding ceremony or something?
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta rewatch it. It's been too long for a lot of these.
Gotta
Well,
rewatch it.
So some of those older Disney films, they had those built-in little jokes that were inappropriate. So as a child, my parents would take me to church, and then
Yeah.
we would go to the room and just rewatch scenes from The Little Mermaid and laugh, such as the priest gets an erection.
Oh.
So this group is Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Anna from
Yeah.
Frozen, Mike Wazowski, Monsters Inc., Ian Lightfoot, Onward.
We need Belle.
We do need Belle.
Again, there's already these characters in there. I like Onward, so I want to say Ian, but who did you say before Belle?
Elizabeth Swann, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, so maybe I've got a pirate thing, but I could see Belle, Elizabeth, or voting Ian just because I like him, but he's already in here. So.
Yeah. I'm going least Anna. Most is torn between Mike and Elizabeth Swann. I'm gonna go. Very tough. I'm gonna go Mike though. I like the green little eyeball.
I figure Mike is coming. If you got Sully, you gotta have Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a well-designed step.
Then we got Goslin Mallard from Darkwing Duck, Lumiere, Beauty and the Beast, Baymax, Big Hero 6.
Wait, Lumiere is the candle?
It's the
Candelabra.
candlestick.
Zeus from Hercules, and Hiro Hamada, the main hero from Big Hero 6.
What was the third?
Baymax.
Baymax.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Baymax most, Zeus least.
Because Zeus is in the game.
He doesn't need any help. He's coming eventually.
Doesn't need help. It is a little weird that they're including characters that are in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Or to say Hero and Betamax, they're from the same thing. So it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's just to find out who. Maybe it's to find out who should be the final part of a book or a event, the final book, as opposed to the first book.
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
I do like the sense of humor of Betamax, the sort of like Paddington Bear, or they're so nice that it's shocking to people, and then they make other people nicer because of it.
Yeah.
It's like the purity of it. He's a robot, you know. And so as much as Hero tries to give him a hard time, he's just like, "Hey, but I'm this nice guy. Keep you alive."
So now I got Minnie Mouse, Darkwing Duck, Flynn Rider, Elsa, and Megavolt from Darkwing Duck. Elsa's least. Now I'm torn between Minnie Mouse and Megavolt, because I want to see them expand Darkwing Duck. That'd be awesome. But I also want them to expand the OG Disney characters.
Yeah, but now Minnie is what kind of Minnie? Because it's Sorcerer's Mickey.
Right.
It's Mickey. It's Minnie Mouse. What?
I want Steamboat Minnie.
Does that exist?
It does.
Oh, okay.
Go watch it on Disney Plus. They got the original short, and she was in the very first one. Okay, so I chose Minnie. Then we got Puck from Gargoyles, Prince Eric, Little Mermaid, Duke Sigmund Igthorn from The Adventures of the Gummy Bears, Hiro Hamada, and Chunk, Toy Story 3.
How about Gummy Bears?
I've never even heard of that.
Gummy Bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. It's beyond compare. We are the Gummy Bears. You remember?
I've never even heard of this.
It's on Disney Plus.
So my parents bought Disney when you had to buy it. Like it was like HBO.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have been something that wasn't on like regular TV.
Oh. I'm just gonna have to look for it on Disney Plus just so I can see
Oh, dude, they are
The
gummy
bears
bears.
with hearts on their.
it.
But it's not Care Bears. They live in under the ground, and then
Yeah.
they come out these tubes, these like the internet. They come out the internet through like a
They come out the internet.
a stump. They've got all these passageways to this underground tunnels where they live, but there's some sort of castle place and they're always trying to capture them, and they're so good.
It's called The Adventures of Gummy
Guerrilla
Bears.
warfare type of stuff, but they can bounce very high. They're very good jumpers.
I was confusing them with Care Bears. I haven't seen gummy bears.
Oh, now I live for Care Bears.
Yeah, I didn't know what you meant by the thing on there. So.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, they're just really good jumpers. They can jump on you. There's traps, but it's like
It tastes really good, very sweet.
Hey, it had 6 seasons.
It's off because it's awesome.
Okay, now we got Quasimodo, Puck, Baymax, Frollo, and Mike Wazowski. This one's hard. Puck is going to be least. Quasimodo most. They want him most.
Yep, I was going to say that. Wait, did you pick the gummy bears? What happened on the last one?
I did not pick the gummy bears.
Moved on without saying anything.
I picked Minnie. I'm a Minnie fan. Then we got Peter Pan, Meg or Megara from Hercules, Colt Bronco from Onward, the cop?
Is he? Yeah, he's the cop, right?
The cop, yeah, the horse.
The horse.
Centaur cop. Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and Zummy Gummy from Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Oh my goodness.
I am sorry, Lombardo, but Zummy Gummy's last.
I'm just surprised they're even listing.
For real. They must have some
they're
plans.
included?
Dude, I am going to go fill out this survey now.
Gummy. Okay. I'm gonna.
There were a lot of nets.
Huh?
Sometimes they would dangle over a pit of spikes.
So I want Colt Bronco a lot,
Mhm.
but I'm going with Peter Pan. Then we got King Triton, Sully, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast,
Ooh.
Goofy, and Barley Lightfoot. Ugh.
Beast has got to be a tank, right? I think Goofy's a good choice.
Goofy's a good choice. I'm really torn between Beast and Goofy.
They would both be good.
Goofy, it's supporting the, as you said, OG.
Yeah.
Character.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point.
And you can get so many permutations of these.
I know. Like the Knight Goofy and
right?
the Wrestler
Goof
Goofy. Yeah, Goof Troop Goofy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. So hard. I'm doing Beast. Even though I hope I get Goofy again in one of these questions. There are 30 of these sets.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just gonna speed through these.
That's fair.
So we got Megavolt, Rapunzel, Triton, Mother Gothel, and Lotso. Mother Gothel is the tangled bad guy.
Got it.
She's great. I'm going with Megavolt for most, Lotso for least. Milo, Atlantis, Lumiere, Beauty and the Beast, Peter Pan, Wendy Darling, and Glenn Ryder.
What's that?
Oh.
Glenn Ryder?
Glenn Ryder.
Yeah.
Have you seen Tangled?
No.
Oh,
You
add
need
it to
to.
your list.
Yes.
Let's
Flynn is the helpful rogue
Mm-hmm.
in Tangled.
Oh, Helpful Rogue. I vote for Helpful Rogue.
Yes, he's very charming, but let's go with Lumiere Elise and I think there's enough Flynn fans out there. I'm going with Milo. See, I'm trying to bring up the ones that probably won't be high on the list because I want them eventually in the game. Okay, now we got Puck, Barley, Lightfoot, Windy Darling, Yokai, and Zeus. I'm going with Windy Darling most, Zeus least. Even though I don't know what Windy Darling is a character, what capabilities she would really have.
Maybe she's like Black Widow. So she calms down everybody
Yeah.
who's going too crazy.
She can
That'd be cool.
She can bring clones from the other side, Peter Pan's shadow, onto her side.
I like it.
There you go.
So now we got Beast, Duke Sigmund from Gummy Bears, Commander Rourke from Atlantis, Darkwing Duck, and Prince Eric. Prince Eric least, Beast most. Sully, Windy Darling, Commander Rourke, Darkwing Duck, Peter Pan.
Who's Commander Rourke?
He is the guy leading the expedition on Atlantis, but then turns bad because he's in it for the money and not for the, what would you say, adventure of, or the discovery? Yeah, the thrill.
The knowledge,
Yeah.
So that Atlantis is kind of a steampunk thing, right?
A little bit. It takes place back then.
There's clearly this decade where I stopped being a that I am missing a lot of the.
So now we got Captain Barbossa, Esmeralda, Mr. Shmee, Duke Sigmund, and Kida from Atlantis. Who is Kida?
I don't know.
Is that the Atlantean? Because if so, she was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it is.
There was a gummy bear.
There was a gummy bear on the list. I like Kida. She is going to be my most. And Duke Sigmund is my least. I don't mean to, but I'm going to negate all your gummy bear votes.
Oh.
All of them? One.
All of them.
They're all gone.
Hercules, Ursula, Elsa, Esmeralda, Captain Barbossa.
These are all already done. Nothing fun there.
Elsa least, Ursula most. And when I beat each set, it still says 25% done with the quiz. There's going to be another couple sections.
This is going to be a long quiz.
I'll finish it later. We've shown viewers what the list is, what the quiz is like.
It's an interesting quiz.
Yeah.
Survey.
It was well intentioned.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You saw another gummy bear on the list?
No. They've got Cursed Captain Jack Sparrow.
That's cool.
Oh.
What is Cursed Captain Jack Sparrow? Skeleton form?
Must be.
Like when he's got he twiddles the coin in his fingers.
Right?
That's cool. That's cool. Okay. So, back to our list of the show stuff. Okay. That brings us to our Can You Feel the Love Tonight segment. Right now, a lot of us are in the honeymoon phase still. It's only been a few months, but it won't last forever. Lots of these types of shows and podcasts eventually devolve into a lot of complaining, but we try to run a very positive show. So, first, let's start with you, Sarah. What have you enjoyed over the past 3 weeks since our last episode?
It's our last one. I have really enjoyed climbing in the PvP arena. I was doing kind of like the minimum. I found that I'm just loving PvP way more than regular Sorcerer's Tournament.
Really?
And I've climbed. Yeah, I climbed from, I'm going to double check. I was in Silver 2 for 3 weeks ago because I was not really caring that much.
I thought you were Sarah.
I was in silver 2 and I'm in, where am I now? I'm in gold 2 right now. So I'm pretty content with that climb.
Hypertension, Katie. Hypertension, Katie.
It's all thanks to Frozen.
I'm sure it must be so much fun with Frozen characters.
I get a lot of people emoting at me when the match starts.
In Merlin's Tower, somebody was asking about how you felt about Elsa at 5 stars.
We'll get there. We'll get there. That is cool. I'm glad you're liking PvP. What about you, Lombardo?
Well, I love Club Conquest, so it's not particular to the last 3 weeks, but that's my favorite part of the game for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's the most exciting team aspect of the game.
The live moment by moment. Oh, okay, this changed. Now do this. Now do this. Relative to Territory Wars,
for sure.
Oh man, that part's awesome. I always like that. I like that right now. Having farmed downtown villains at the beginning is paying off a few events in a row.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Zerg just came out again.
Good point. Yeah.
So we got.
I'll actually hopefully unlock them this time.
What just happened? Money bin. Money bin. That, and there was something else we're using. So that's the more recent that I like. But yeah, Club Conquest is the best.
I've been enjoying that. I got my first 7-star character.
Yeah. Who'd you do?
So I did Big Bad Wolf. I'm kind of happy with it, but I've shifted to a Kingdom squad, which I still have room for him, but I'm thinking Anna's going to eventually replace him in the Kingdom squad. And then eventually I'll shift to a Frozen once the event comes back. But then I also got Mickey to 7-star. So a lot of these farms are finally paying off with maxed out characters that I can use in PvP. So I've been enjoying that. I also enjoyed. I think it was sometime in the last couple weeks that I did the final defense tier of the challenge, and 6-starred the last one. So that made me happy.
Oh, the one that's up right now?
Yeah, the one that's up right now. Yep. Okay, on to Merlin's Tower, where we answer any questions you may have about the game for us on the show. Join us on our Discord server if you want us to answer your questions and see them. We also look here in the chat on YouTube, but if you want to guarantee that we'll get to it, ask us on our Discord server under Merlin's Tower channel. So we got RA898, who said, ugh, Tower 3 sucks, of Towers of Endurance. I have no good Oceanic. Are towers worth it to star gear up unused characters? Or should we finish other teams' tunes event requirements instead and just do a few waves of whatever tower we're currently on? Thoughts?
Well, Tower 3 is Hammer. Tower 3 is Sleepy Fairy something.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
It's Tower 3 in particular is extremely annoying and difficult. But I found it worth it to just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the tower. If we're talking specifically about Tower 3, then I would say yes, it's worth it to do your
Agreed.
Oceanic for them. I would also, what I ended up doing for it was I just watched a couple of different videos of people doing Tower 3 to see what squads they were using and to see what I could use and what would make sense to work. And then I just realized I needed to send in a burn team on node 8 of Tower 3. And that was literally the only thing holding me back from finishing it.
Yeah, good strategy. Good strategy.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, so my short answer is it depends on the tower. But Tower 3, yes, is worth it.
So Jack's a good, like, kind of plug and play character where I'm gonna, okay, they are running this particular spell like Bucket, or they're running this particular combination of tunes, especially once it's a double charm. It's good to have that in your arsenal, regardless of what your primary spot is. And then that plus Ariel at, like, I think I had her at 3 stars, maybe like gear 4 or 5 when I got through it, and she's eventually going to be a good lead in whatever Club Conquest or other GAC like.
Right.
Definitely.
So I think it's not just worth it to complete it because of what you get, but these are also tunes you're going to want anyway.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I'd say 100% worth it for multiple reasons. The main one being that once you get to the next tower, you get more currency from your daily activities. But even if you hate the game mode, even if it's a chore to get through and it takes a long time going through all the different levels, it is worth it to get to the final Tower 5. Because what I do, even though I like it, it is very time consuming with all the restarts of each level, trying to get good luck of enemies' turn bar starts and who they decide to target. So I've gotten to where I just do the first battle and then restart because I can't complete the entire thing yet. But because I've worked hard and built up the right characters to get to Tower 5, just with that one restart, that and the daily activity, I've got enough for at least 2.5 packs of the spell packs without doing anything. Just because of the prior work of beating those towers. And I've gotten a bunch of good spells that the later towers, once you beat a tower, it unlocks a new tier of spells that are much better, like the Golden Hammer that Lombardo mentioned, Sleeping Fairy, Mortal Potion, stuff like that. It's definitely worth it. You want to get to Tower 5. And take a break while you're there, because there's no Tower 6, but you need to get to Tower 5 at least.
I remember once I finished 3, I barely spent any time in 4. It was just 1, 2.
Yes. I had that too, and I think it's because downtown villains are powerful, lots of good synergy. Dr. Facilier is a great heal, best heal in the game, and you can use him throughout 4. Whereas number 3, you just had to get lucky without a good healer.
Good RNG and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Facilier, Olaf, Jack. I forget who the other 2. Zerg, and then a 5th one for the 5th tower. And I just used the charms and whatever crowd control, so they would kill themselves.
Yeah.
The last Jangles, our favorite clown.
Favorite clown.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, then Chip asked for Sarah, how has 5-star Elsa been? Can it compete with a 7-star Kingdom team? Trying to decide how deep to take Frozen Farm to ensure 7-star, or allow some leeway for event farming at the risk of not completing 7-star in time.
So the answer is she's been awesome. She can compete with 7-star kingdom teams. It depends on the team makeup. For me, so I find what's hindering me right now is they are not max leveled because of the gold crunch in the game. So my player account, whatever, is at level 50, and they are all in between 43 and 47. And they're just all in there. They're all tier 5. I don't have any stones on them. Kristoff and Anna are 7-star, and then everyone else is 5-star. So I can beat 7-star kingdoms with them. The team that I have the most trouble with, excuse me, in particular is a Shanyu lead team that has Mordu on it, and Big Bad Wolf is usually the one that is going to stop me. If I see that, I usually just go around it. But I haven't had any issue. Even I switched my defense team to them, and I haven't had any issue holding. I think I've fallen in the last couple of each day. I maybe lose on defense once, and then I just stay where I am, and which is great because it makes my climb a lot easier the next day. So yeah, definitely worth it, and I'm pumped to put some stones on them because that's going to be good.
That's good to hear, because that's where I'm focusing my efforts, my farming right now too.
I think that comes down to what your opponent, or like what game mode you're talking, because you're saying like 5-star Elsa, so not a fully developed Frozen team, but a 7-star. So maybe not a fully developed kingdom, but a more developed kingdom. If I know that if I'm piloting kingdom versus Frozen, if we're equal resource, equal gear levels, I'm gonna win that. But that's because I'm paying really good attention to the turn meter manipulations.
Right. Yeah. So I'm talking specifically about in Arena, in Sorcerer's tournament, where you're fighting the AI.
That's why they got
like you're. Yeah. So you're like I'm fighting the AI. I also like I think in live PvP, I will lose sometimes to mirror matches, because mirror matches with Frozen suck, FYI. And then it just depends again, like on what exact kingdom team I'm facing up against, but it's really rare for me to lose against them.
Yeah, my kingdom struggles very much against Frozen teams.
That are equal gear levels?
That are worse than me. I struggle hard.
Yeah. Like so let me just look at it real quick. So they're gear 5. They're gear 5. Anna is level 49. Kristoff is 44. Elsa is 44. Sven is 45. And Olaf is 43. And I'm facing up against, in tournament, 7-star level 55 squads that are tier 5. So they're same gear level, but they're 7-star. And they're 10 levels higher than me.
Yeah.
And I'm winning.
The fact that you can do that is testament to how great of a team they are.
So yeah, I would say if that's where you're focusing is, then that's a good focus. Because I'm excited to get her 7-star.
You know, I wonder if that's because of Olaf then, because I've got people who do Dash or Zerg. As instead of Olaf.
I love Olaf.
And that's those spots to me. I just kill the not Frozen one first. And you're going to be able to. I'm able to manipulate the turn meter to prevent Kristoff from taunting to kill either Anna or Elsa or get her to Stacy. Or I just kill the Zerg Dash and then I go ham on Kristoff right off the bat. So I'm using all my specials. And then he's once he taunts, he's already close to death.
I will also say that if I put my team on auto, I will not win. I have to play manually. So the AI does not play the way that I play it. Because what ends up happening is the AI does Anna's AoE move first, which I don't do. I use her her second move first, the one that gives haste to the two adjacent allies. I use that first. And then the AI will also make Elsa use her AoE, and I do not touch her AoE until she's empowered.
What spells do you use?
I'm using Cauldron and Peter Pan's Shadow.
Well,
But that's only because right now I don't have Golden Hammer. So I would like to put Golden Hammer instead. Cauldron is fun though.
It is.
You can get not that I've done this only a couple of times when I've lost Sven. You can use Peter Pan's Shadow on Cauldron. So you can get multiple cauldrons just spamming.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No way.
Oh yeah. And you can just like keep pump, and then if I lose Sven, I won't do it. But almost every time Cauldron takes its turn, Sven assists.
Oh,
that's great.
That's awesome. Okay, last but not least, let's head to Li Shang's training ground. Talk about who we're currently training in the game, because somehow I'll make a sorcerer out of you. But I'll start first with this one. I am at 5-star for each of my Frozen characters, working on 6-star. Kristoff is 7. Ben is halfway to 8. Olaf
I was like, what?
Sven is halfway to 6-star. Halfway to my 85 shards. That's what I was thinking of in my head. Olaf about halfway to my 85 shards tokens. And Anna is just barely 5-star. I'm going to need to start spending more tournament exchange currency.
That's what I did to finish her. I just went ham. Yeah.
So that's basically where all my focus is now. While also trying to get my Aladdin and Jasmine up. Because Kingdom is what I'm running all the time right now. Since the buff, Raja is great. My Jasmine's only 5-star though. So it is much difficult keeping Raja alive versus any team I face. So I need to get her up. What about you, Lombardo?
Well, so for gearing, it's between Jasmine and Robin Hood. So depending on my opponents, like certain Frozen squads, I know that their hammer and the taunt and all this, they're going to outlast me. So I've got to speed through. So I use the Robin Hood. But then for other squads, then I'm using Jasmine as more of a classic run. So they're the ones I gear. And then I'm doing the people who are kind of relevant to the recent events. And I've been working on Ariel because I'm expecting Oceanic to be the speed stone. So
okay.
And I already have Jack full.
Nice.
I mean, he's gear 5, but his stars are full.
7-star.
So anything, I'm actually thinking to myself, I'm going to have to work on somebody like Hook or Tinkerbell just because I want those speed stones. But then maybe they're going to throw Princess my way. I don't know. So, yeah.
Oh.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Lombardo, for joining us this week. You've been a fantastic guest. Really appreciated your input.
If you appreciated it, why would you keep downvoting gummy bears? You knew how I felt about gummy bears.
I know. I'd rather have Sour Patch Kids.
Is there a cartoon of those?
I don't know. I'm not aware.
No idea.
I know they do well in the commercials. the
The
cartoon.
Gummy Bears is like Cabbage Patch Dolls, and then Sour Patch Kids is like the Garbage Pail Kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
But thanks, guys. That ought to do it. And until that, let's see. That ought to do it. And until next time, Jeannie, you're free.
Oh, it's